Good evening. My name my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth, and we're fixing the camera. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties this evening. That's why we are late, and it's also why I didn't do a video in the middle of the day because nothing was connected for me to be able to show you videos. But then we couldn't get the video to play anyways. Okay, so hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. Today is October, oh no, I forgot, 28th at, he took my phone. Oh, it's right here. It's October 28th at 8:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I was going to show you some videos today of the homo, uh, they made me say homo, okay? Okay. Homo Borg Genesis. That's what they've turned us into by their means. That's not what I'm not saying that. So anyways, so I was going to show you all those videos that I talked about earlier today, but we're not able to do that because our internet's not working perfectly, and we just had to restart everything, and we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So we're just going to go with doing the Screwtape letters, and tomorrow we will try again with doing the videos that I want to show you and the information that I found. Okay, so after we do the Screwtape letters, which we are on number 4 tonight, sorry for being 13 minutes late, didn't mean that to happen, and then we'll say a prayer and we'll be done for tonight. I'm not trying to rush through it. It's just, I'm not trying to rush through it. It's just that we're having technical difficulties, and I want to be able to do at least one thing that I said I would do. Okay? All right. On the same page. Here we go. My dear Wormwood, the amateurish suggestion in your last letter warned me that it is high time for me to write to you fully on the painful subject of prayer. You might have spared the comment that my advice about his prayers for his mother proved singularly unfortunate. That is not the sort of thing that a nephew should write to his uncle, nor a junior tempter to the undersecretary of a department. It also reveals an unpleasant desire to shift responsibility. You must learn to pay for your own blunders. The best thing, where it is possible, is to keep the patient from the serious intentions of praying altogether. When the patient is an adult recently reconverted to the enemy's party, like your man, this is best done by encouraging him to remember, or to think he remembers, the parrot-like nature of his prayers in childhood. Hold on a minute. I'm about to sneeze. Maybe it won't come. In reaction against that, he may be persuaded to aim at something entirely spontaneous, inwards, informal, and unregularized. That was a mouthful. And what this will actually mean to a beginner will be an effort to produce in him a vaguely devotional mood in which real concentration of will and intelligence have no part. One of their poets, Coleridge, has recorded that he did not pray with moving lips and bended knees, but merely composed his spirit to love and indulged a sense of supplication. That is exactly the sort of prayer we want. And since it bears a superficial resemblance to the prayer of silence and practiced by those who are very far advanced in the enemy's service, clever and lazy patients can be taken in by it for quite a long time. At the very least, my nose is itchy. They can be persuaded that the bodily position makes no difference in their prayer, for they consistently forget. What you must always remember that they are animals and that whatever their bodies do affects their souls. It is funny how mortals always picture us as putting things into their minds. In reality, our best work is done by keeping things out. If this fails, you must fall back on a subtler misdirection of his intention. Whenever they are attending to the enemy himself, we are defeated. But there are ways of preventing them from doing so. The simplest is to turn their gaze away from him towards themselves. Keep them watching their own minds and trying to produce feelings there by the actions of their own wills. When they meant to ask him for clarity, let them instead start trying to manufacture charitable feelings for themselves and not notice that this is what they are doing. When they meant to pray for courage, let them really be trying to feel brave. When they say they are praying for forgiveness, let them be trying to feel forgiven. Teach them to estimate the value of each prayer by their success in producing the desired feelings, and never let them subject how Prism. Okay. Sorry, Prism disconnected, so I stopped. Let me find it again. I'm going to go back a little bit. Teach them to estimate the value of each prayer by their success in producing the desired feelings, and never let them suspect how much success or failure of that kind depends on whether they are well or ill, fresh or tired at the moment. But of course, the enemy will try. But of course, the enemy will not, meantime, be idle. Whenever there is prayer, there is danger of his own immediate action. He is clinically indifferent to the deities of his positions and ours as pure spirits, and to human animals on their knees. He pours out self-knowledge in a quite shameless fashion. But even if he defeats your first attempt at misdirection, we have a subtler weapon. The humans do not start from that direction perception of him which we unhappily cannot avoid. They have never known that ghastly luminosity, that stabbing and searing glare which makes the background of permanent pain to our lives. If you look into your patient's mind when he is praying, you will not find that. If you examine the object to which he is attending, you will find that it is a composite of objects containing many quite ridiculous ingredients. There will be images derived from pictures of the enemy as he appeared during the discreditable episode known as the Incarnation. There will be vulgar, perhaps quite savage and puerile image associated with the other two persons. There will even be some of his own reverence and of bodily sensations accompanying it, objectified and attributed to the object revered. I have known cases where the patient called his God was actually located up and to the left at the corner of the bedroom ceiling, or inside his own mind, or in a crucifix on the wall. But whatever the nature of the composite object, you must keep him praying to it, to the thing that he has made, not to the person who has made him. Hold on a minute. We'll come back to that. You may even encourage him to attach great importance to the correction or improvement of his composite object, and to keeping it steadily before his imagination during the whole prayer. For if he ever comes to make the distinction, if ever he consciently directs his prayers, not to what I think thou art, but to what thou knowest thyself to be, or situation is, for the moment, desperate, once all his thoughts and images have been flung aside, and if retained with a full recognition of their merely subjective nature, and the man's trust himself to the completely real, external, invisible presence there with him in the room, and never acknowledged by him as he is known by it. Why then is that the inculpable may occur. In avoiding this situation, this real nakedness of the soul in prayer, you will be helped by the fact that the humans themselves do not desire it as much as they suppose. There's such a thing as getting more than they bargain for. Your affectionate uncle, Screwtape. So it says here, you may even encourage him to attach great importance to the correction and improvement of his composed object, and to keeping it steadily before his imagination during the whole prayer. So, like crucifixions, hold on a minute, this way you can see my eyes. So, like crucifixions and things to that effect, like, oh, you should have this, all these objects that you pray around and this and that, instead of just praying directly to God and Jesus. You're praying to some object, and you're not keeping the full, keeping the full, presence of Jesus in the room with you. And that's, you have to keep him, because in the demons, they come along and they fuddle with everything. They get your mind going in a million different places. And that's why you have to slow down. And that's the purposes of taking the deep breaths. Okay? And I like to start out with threes. Personally, myself, that's what I do. Because you're centering your body. You can feel your heartbeat and your breathing. And it's no foo-foo shit. It's just centering yourself. And I've known that my whole life. So I'm not saying that sometimes things just come out wrong. Okay? So I was taught by my mother when I was younger to slow down and center yourself so you can focus, because I've always been going 100 miles an hour. I got so many thoughts at so many different times in my head that I have to slow down. So how she taught me to do it, and especially when I'm in the middle of having an anxiety attack, which is part of my asthma attack, you just have to try to breathe as best as you can. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And you focus on that. You focus on your lungs opening up. And you have to do that on your own basis, whatever it is that is for you. And then you talk to God, which I do it all the day long. And I have for most of my life. I was taught not to talk about it with a lot of people. So a lot of people thought a lot of different things about me growing up, which I don't care, because if I cared a whole bunch, then I wouldn't be Angela Fagg. I would have changed my last name, or I would have been offended about a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I haven't cried privately, but I don't let things stay with me for a very long time. I may bring them back up later only because it's crossed my mind. But in general, I go. It may take time, because that's the thing that people don't like to share, is that sometimes it's not just, it's like this. That's why when somebody dies, it's important to grieve for the 7 days, real grieving. And a lot of people don't get to do that, which is, it's okay, but there's a purpose for taking so long, so you can process everything fully instead of going by the seat of your pants like I've done my whole entire life. It's not an easy process to try to get yourself to slow down enough to be able to even, say some shit. Okay? So when praying, I kind of do it out loud all day long, or I just talk, because I think that's the way you should do it, no matter where you're at, you know. But I also think that people have to do things at their own way. I don't believe that you should have all kinds of foo-foo and all kinds of, you got to light a candle and you have to make this little closet into a room and a prayer just for God. You have to have this special rug. This rug is only for this. I don't think any of that matters. I think that's extra. What matters is the communication. And communication is something that we don't get a lot of in this new world that we live in with all these phones and technology. Okay? So we're going to end right now. We're going to say our prayers. We're about at 20 minutes. And I will see you again first thing in the morning. All right? Okay, reconnected. Now we're going to start. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil ones. And I'm also going to read Psalm 91. You who live in the shelter of the Most High, who abide in the shadow of the Almighty, will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, or the arrows that fly by day, or the pestilence that stalk in the darkness, or the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked, because you have made the Lord so you will not dash your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. When they it's like we're playing. When they call to me, I will answer them. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue them and honor them. With long life I will satisfy them and show them my salvation. In the name of Jesus, amen. Now, prism keeps going in and out, so that's why I stopped and then went back a second and then started again. So if you want to know why I did that, that's exactly why I did that. Okay. And I almost forgot that because we're in here, I can do my commercial real quick and then I'll come back and say good night. So, oh, I got it.
Messengers of truth you see, giving life to you and me. Birds above with wings so bright, carrying hope into the night. Songs of love we can't ignore, whispering secrets to our core. Water cool and purely clear, quenching thirst and washing fear. Flows through valleys ever free, a silent song, a gentle plea.
Oh, okay. Listen, thank you for coming and watching me. And thank you to the person who watches me all the time. Thank you. I appreciate you coming by. And I also appreciate you smacking that thumbs up because it's free. And I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And thank you for all the other people that do come by and watch my videos. I do appreciate it. I hope that all of you have a wonderful night. And tomorrow I will be able to do the midday video because everything is hooked back up again. And this time the reason why it's down is because Jimmy's actually in video school still. So he has another camera that I don't know how to set up. Oh, and I think my one eyebrow's been all messed up this whole time. Nobody told me. Okay. Just kidding. Listen, you are loved. We leveled up today. We made it through. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Good job. You made it through. You didn't die. You didn't let them, I'm not going to say those words because we'll automatically get flagged. Okay? Have a wonderful night. And then here's my ending. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. You is smart. You is kind. You is important.